Hi, I'm Rick Green, America's Constitution coach, with a few thoughts on how an Article 5 convention would work. You know, the Founding Fathers gave us this great gift in the Constitution, a way to save the Constitution from folks in Washington, D.C. when they get out of control. The only way, frankly, to put Washington, D.C. and the federal government back in its box is using Article 5, the Convention of States for Proposing Amendments. This was a tool that the founders gave us, and it was a tool they were familiar with. Some people today say, I don't want to support a convention because we have no idea how it will work. Well, that's not actually true. This was a term of art for the Founding Fathers. They knew exactly what they were talking about. They didn't go into great detail because they had done this so often. We had dozens of interstate conventions, and many of these at the Constitutional Convention, some of the founders of the Constitutional Convention had participated in these other interstate conventions. So they knew exactly what they were talking about. To not use an Article 5 Convention of States for proposing amendments because it doesn't lay out every little thing about how a convention would work, that makes about as much sense as saying we're never going to do a grand jury because the Fifth Amendment doesn't lay out exactly how a grand jury would work. Or we're never going to have a civil jury trial because the Seventh Amendment doesn't give any real details on how that jury trial would work. Or even habeas corpus. We'll never protect habeas corpus because Article 1, Section 9 doesn't give us enough detail. Folks, the Founding Fathers knew what they were talking about. They gave us a lot of other information in the Federalist Papers, in their other writings, and all of the interstate conventions that they had participated in. Let's be sure that we learn from those other conventions, things like every state gets one vote when they get to a convention, that states can actually limit the call, that they can give instructions to their delegates, that the states get to decide who the delegates are going to be for their state and how many they want to send to the convention. All of these things are clearly laid out in the history of interstate conventions, and we should follow that information, learn that information, and not be afraid to use this very important tool that can save our constitutional republic.